Hey guys, it's Riser Boy, and today you're probably going to see one of the most difficult installs ever done on the channel. As you can see, I hung up Mike J's nice signs from last video, but I'm here to get something from the fridge. You know, most car YouTubers like the Monster Zero Ultra, but you know that here at Riser Boy, we ball on a budget. Now, if you don't believe me when I say that the car is extremely loud without those rear seats in, listen to it. Oh, and a big shout out to Mike J for that radar detector that you see right over there. Definitely gonna hardwire it when I get back home. So guys, today our critical objective is giving this thing a V6 swap. So this is the car we're looking at today, a nice gold 2000 Toyota Camry.
One of the most bulletproof cars in existence. So, as you can see, this car has the, obviously, being a CE, it has the 4-cylinder 2.2 liter, making a whopping 136 horsepower and some very small amount of torque that I don't know off the top of my head. But all that's going to change today, and you'll find out in a little bit how we're going to do that.
Well, there's also a mod too. We have an extremely modified engine. I think this is definitely not factory.
Yep. The original radiator cracked pretty soon after buying the car, but other than that, there hasn't been any issue other than routine maintenance. There's a small valve cover gasket leak, but most of this oil is due to an accidental spill not too long ago, so it's not really all coming from the leak. The leak is just kind of in the back. That's going to be dealt with soon. And we can take a look at the interior, which is pretty basic, but extremely comfortable.
This is definitely one of the most Toyota Camrys of all Toyota Camrys, and it's a good thing.
So there's a few pros and cons of this car that I'd like to explicitly mention. The pros are obviously the legendary reliability that the 4th gen Camrys have. It's not uncommon at all for these things, well maintained, to last to 300,000 or 400,000 miles. This one only has 107,000, so it's not even really broken in. So it's just extremely reliable as a daily driver. And aesthetically, I think it looks much better than the fatter, bubbly designs that you see today in most new cars. It's much more streamlined. Its lines are honestly kind of more reminiscent of an airplane or a yacht than a land vehicle. Now the cons, as mentioned before, it is absolutely not a sporty car of any kind. You can't at all drive it in a manner that's fun, but that's not what I bought the car for. And it has hail damage, unfortunately, as any car that's ever been outside in this god-awful weathered state is going to have. But all in all, it's an amazing value, and believe me, if you ever need a very reasonably priced, reliable, low-hassle, no nasty surprises daily driver, this car will not let you down. So now it's time for the part we've all been waiting for, really. I'm going to do the first ever engine swap conducted on any vehicle with no tools of any kind. And you're probably wondering how that's going to happen. The answer is in my hand. So what I'm hoping is, obviously this isn't going to fool like any gearhead, but anybody who is relatively inexperienced with cars is probably going to be like, oh my god, V6, wow! So for anybody who, you know, has a totally impaired sense of humor, if getting a joke is not your strong suit, this video is obviously a joke. I am not actually taking myself too seriously here, and neither is Riser Boy, so just get that notion out of your pea-sized brain if you think that I'm really thinking that I'm like swapping an engine instead of sticking a badge on.
The real question is, when has Riser Boy ever taken himself seriously? So we have everything set up here. We have this revolutionary double-sided duct tape, which we're gonna use. You know, Swiss Army knife, all of your basic engine swapping tools, Nature Valley bar, you know how we roll.
Little kid scissors, which were probably from the 2nd grade, found inside.
Exactly. We care about safety here, so safety scissors are all we use. Hey Skippy, it's Uncle Ricer Boy. You know you found the right car channel and there's a different dog in every video. We're hard at work doing our engine swap. As you can see, we have cut most of this badge clean with the adhesive on the back. We're definite experts at this.
This is what I've been doing.
Time for the momentous install. There.
Wow. That was so labor intensive, I think I'm just gonna go lie down for a while.
So guys, this Camry is very good at being a Camry and doing what Camrys do well. And now that it has that V6 badge on there, this is probably one of the best looking Camrys you will ever see. Well, because I didn't get too much video today otherwise, I'm gonna wire in that radar detector that Mike J so kindly sent me by hardwiring it. Now, one thing that I really like about this car is how easily you can wire stuff into it. I don't know how well you can see it, but I have my FM modulator wired in right over there with the fuse panel. Also up there, I have my OBD2 port extender for my torque sensor. And if you zoom in up there, you can see how the aux cable and the wiring for my FM modulator goes in there so it could come out the ashtray port over there. So one thing good about having a cheap interior with easy to remove plastic panels is I could just run all the wiring behind the center dash right up there, and it's really stealthy and looks really clean. So the ultimate secret to all this is that I'm going to be wiring in an extra cigarette lighter outlet, as you can see right here. And it's really simple. It's just this plastic housing, and I cut and strip the wires. So as you can see, we have our positive and our negative connections right there that we can just wire in. So now the next part will be routing the cable to the detector. So if you didn't already know, this is exactly how easy it is to take apart the interior of a B15 Sentra. First, you just yank on that thing and it goes out. Then, you yank on this thing and it goes out. And then, you just unscrew 2 bolts, or screws rather, and you will be at cable central. And that's exactly how easy it is to take apart a center console of a B15 Sentra. So then, you just get the cable for your radar detector, like this one, and you thread it through the kick panel area to the back of the center console. And as you can see, I'm holding it right here, and it's exiting at this lower part of the center console. So then you just thread it upwards behind the radio. So now you guys can finally see the secret to my super clean wiring job. But if you look at the radar detector now, you can see that the cable for it just goes into that slot there, which used to be a place which was for the hinge for the door that was for the top dash storage. But I removed that so that way I could run all the cables through those slots for the hinges and then run them behind the climate control over there, then down to the bottom of the center stack, and then out through this side over here where they pop back out through that corner. So that's just a brief synopsis of basically how I have so many wires running to the top of the car so that way I can have my really cool dash setup. And also someday I think I'll go through that just because a lot of people out there are probably wondering how it works and how I get it to display the car's data. So obviously some time has passed and I'm just hoping that you guys can hear me over all the goddamn cicadas. But now all I have to do is wire in the cigarette lighter port that I showed y'all earlier. And all I'll have to do is put the red positive lead in the fuse that I'm using for the FM modulator, which is for the automatic transmission control, which obviously this car doesn't need because that pedal. And then for my negative wire right here, it's just gonna screw into that nut over there into the body, just so that way I can put this plug in and then plug that into the radar detector. So as you can see, I have everything wired in. So now, we can do a little test. Key is in the ignition.
Testing. System ready.
Now that's badass. Well guys, that was pretty fucking awesome, so thanks for watching, and peace out.